I'm sorry.
That's Booby.
And that's Vita and Chip and Culpy.
Did you guys know that if you have a official court document on one side and a Snopes article on the other side, you're supposed to go with the Snopes article? Did you know that?
Huh? That's dated from 2015?
That's right. That's 4 years old. Oh, inside joke. Okay. Band we've never done before.
Okay. No, we haven't done them, but I always remember hearing the station that I would listen to.
The Must Station? What is a Must Station?
Well, it's not Must Station.
You said Must Station.
I was going to say the music, and then I was like, the station, they would say Red Hot Chili Peppers, Bare Naked Ladies, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know what Red Hot Chili Peppers sounds like, but I do remember hearing their name brought up.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Otherside. This came out in 1999. I had just started listening to Korn.
Yeah.
Because of the Woodstock 99. So then I was like, okay, well, let me turn to K-Rock. Maybe there's bands other than Korn that are good. And there weren't. There's this other band named Incubus, but they were not good. I did not like them. This song came on, though, and I liked it. And I found a way to tape it. So,
you did?
Yeah. I go through these moods over the years, and I listen to this song like back-to-back 28 times in a row.
Are you serious?
You know how I am.
I know, that's how you
obsessive
are.
personality, things of that nature.
Yep.
So, Otherside, Red Hot Chili Peppers, first
See, I could
song.
listen to stuff over and over when I would record it, but not like you. So, it's kind of weird to feel like you're an obsessive person, and then when you're around somebody that's a lot more obsessive.
I just remembered the harmonization in the chorus got me.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I never really looked at the lyrics, but the harmonization in the chorus, I was like, yes, Pinky. All right, ready?
Okay.
Otherside, Red Hot Chili Peppers, let's do it.
And go.
That's Flea.
Don't believe it's fair. throat his whole life. Turn beyond just before a hard ride. Soon beyond, leave me on the other side. I yell and tell it that it's not my bed. I tear it down, then it's born again. How long will I slide? Separate my side. It's you. I don't believe it's fair. We're slit my throat is all I ever had. I don't believe it's fair. We're slit my throat is all I ever had.
I love that song so much.
I have heard this one.
You have?
Yes, I
It's
have.
a good song, huh?
Yeah. I think it used to play at that store I used to work at, and it would come on the radio. I just didn't know that's who they were, and I would listen to that when I was older.
And I actually remember the lyrics, so I'm pretty happy about that.
You did?
Yeah, because I usually just remember the chorus and then I'm seeing the lyrics for the first time, but these lyrics I actually do remember.
I remembered some of them.
The Separate
also.
My Side,
I heard you speak through the photograph. I remember that part.
yeah,
I heard your voice through the photograph.
it's such a good song. The How Long part was like the thing that always
Me
got
too! Yes!
Yeah, because that's a big theme in the Bible.
No, it was the way he said it. So it wasn't like the exact thing. The way that he did that, how...
Well, no, yeah, that was it too, but that was such a big theme in the Bible of how long it's you know, the martyrs at the throne, you know, and all through the Psalms, how long, O Lord, will you forget me forever?
Yep.
So it's like, that was a very big worship song for me, which was interesting because
Really?
it was 99 when I was just coming into like my metal phase and I was really rebelling against my mom and rebelling against religion, but there were a couple songs that were, there was this song and then there was that Perfect Circle song that was like a real like me and God thing, but this song was always like that when the How Long would come on. It was always like about me and God. So this is always an important song for me.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
It had nothing to do with God when I listened to it.
You're pagan.
Because I couldn't have made a God song because I wasn't supposed to listen to anything that wasn't Christian. So it couldn't have been a God song. So, like, am I supposed to get something God out of my rebellion?
I think
Who was about to know?
I think I remember telling you one time that there are a bunch of secular songs that were deeply spiritual and meaningful to me, and you said basically that I was covering up my sin with spirituality or something like that. I didn't even respond. This was like years and years ago. I didn't even respond to you. I was like, oh, okay.
I didn't even respond to you.
I said, huh? But this is a deeply spiritual song for me, for sure. For sure.
I probably did say that. I don't remember saying it, but that does sound like
Oh,
something
you
I would've said.
absolutely said it. And you had your little judgment. I was like, let's just get on to the Bible study.
Alright.
Otherside, what'd you think of it? How long? How
Oh, I loved it.
long? Oh, I love that song so
I
much.
love the way that his singing goes. And that's live,
Yeah, I know.
you know? These
I know.
massive crowd like that.
Yeah.
And then at the end when he was jumping around all like that,
Yeah,
that
it's
was
funny.
unexpected.
Well, it's not a heavy song,
Right.
but it was just, you know, whatever. But
Yeah.
it's a deep song. It's like one of the, such a crazy, good song. I can't say enough about it. How long will I slide? Separate my side, I don't believe it's bad. Slit my throat, it's all I ever. So, I think, what do you think the song is about?
know. Maybe slipping back because thinking about the past and
Yeah, I think
needing
it's
to move forward, but
like having a bad habit, and they lost somebody in the band. I saw behind the music thing, they lost somebody to drugs in the band. I don't know if it was written before or after. That I'm not sure about. I just don't know enough about the Chili Peppers, but it seems like the first stanza, which is the chorus, is basically dealing with something that you know is going to end up killing you, but you keep sliding into it. Like, because you go down to the bridge, he says, turn me on, take me for a hard ride, burn me out, leave me on the other side. I yell and tell it that it's not my friend. I tear it down, and then it's born again.
oh wow, yeah.
So it's about that thing that haunts you your whole life that you're trying to. So he keeps sliding. So in the chorus, the metaphor is sliding back, and then in the bridge, the metaphor is tearing down, and then it gets born again, which is a brilliant way to use the phrase "born again."
Yep.
Because usually, from a Christian perspective, to be born again means that you're a renewed person. Because you were born the first time with original sin. You have to be born again because there's something wrong with your first birth.
Right.
Or there's the phrase, you have to be born again. The phrase actually could mean born from above.
Yeah.
So
I do remember that. Yep.
It was interesting in John chapter 8 when Jesus says, "You're from below. I'm from above."
Above, yeah.
If I'd have said otherwise, I'd have been a liar like you. Huh? This nice guy Jesus. But so from a Christian perspective, you have to be born from again or born from above because your earthly birth or your first birth, you have a sin nature. And the way that you overcome your sin nature is not by trying harder, it's by being born again as a new person.
Yep.
And that's how you overcome it.
Yep.
And that's obviously a work that God has to do in you. But here, it's interesting is because he's tearing it down, but then the sin in itself that's killing him gets reborn. So I thought that was a brilliant kind of, you know how much I love irony. I don't know if he was going for the religious over or undertone, but it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
That either you're going to be born again, or the thing that's
You're trying to escape is going to be
escaping you is going to be born again.
Yeah.
That's speaks to the human inability to overcome that stuff.
To free your own self.
But I remember just that phrase, "how long," is such that's a deep human condition issue. It's one of the deepest things where people go through so many things and they have so much pain, and people always say, it's like the last song we just listened to, which is interesting. It's kind of like the songs are talking to each other, because in the REM song he kept saying hold on, and then the response is, well, how long?
Right. Yeah.
So the songs kind of talk to each other.
Yeah.
That's pretty. We should make sure that we release those. Well, we can't because it's a main stage song. But I think that's.
What's a main stage?
This is a main stage song.
Oh, so
is REM. So, but isn't it? That's crazy to me. The songs can be. They're almost. It's almost as if they're talking to each other. So the guy from REM is saying, "Hold on, everybody hurts," and then he's saying, "Well, how long am I supposed to hold on?"
Yeah. How long is it going to be like this?
Because that's the other side of it. The REM song was very positive and come on, you can do it. And then this song is kind of it's like the person's trying, but they keep sliding back into the bad thing that slit my throat. It's all I ever.
I was just gonna read that one. Slit my throat. It's all I ever had. It's all I ever. Do you think that he's saying in that one well, this addiction or this thing or whatever, it's killing him, but it's all he has to hold on to.
Yeah. Which of course, it's what do you mean it's all you have? You're a big rock star. Of course, one of the ways that I looked at it was that the guy's a singer. So if he were to slit his throat, that's all he has, because all he has is his art. So it's kind of like a way of looking at them both. Either your drugs are all that you ever had to get you through life, or your art is all you have to get you through life. So it's kind of like a double there, but.
So when he goes on to "I heard your voice through a photograph," I thought it up it brought up the past. Once you know you can never go back, I've got to take it on the other side. Once you know what, like, oh, you think like something bad happened to the relationship so you can't go back to it, or?
Well, I heard your voice through a photograph. Basically, all he has left of his friend, I think, are pictures.
Oh, I'm thinking relationship.
Well, he had a relationship with his friend.
Yeah, but I'm thinking romantic relationship. That's what I always thought when I would hear this song when I was a teenager.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you turned everything into a relationship.
Of course I did.
Yeah. Well, it is a relationship. Like I said, it's his friend.
Yes, but a romantic relationship.
I think once you know you can never go back, I think it's talking about like, there's certain drugs, I think, that once you know what that high feels like, you can't go back to a normal life.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
Honestly.
Yeah, and then you know, I've got to take it on the other side. It's basically, it's just going to kill you, and we're just going to meet each other again on the other side because, you know, that stuff is...
I know, it's terrible reasoning, but that's why I wouldn't try a lot of things.
Oh, it's not terrible reasoning.
Because...
It's actually very sound reasoning. That's very good reasoning.
I guess.
That's a lot of self-awareness.
Because sometimes I see myself, like, trying something and then, like...
Yeah, you gotta have...
being able to stop.
Yeah, you gotta have the self-awareness to be able to recognize those things about yourself.
Because there's less destructive things than that I have in my life, and I'm sure everybody has things that they're like, this is not good for me, and yet I keep doing it.
I think people overestimate their capabilities. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that think you've heard this thing or heroin or meth or whatever, and you know you've heard how many lives it destroys, but there's people that really think, well, I'm going to be the exception. And more,
I don't feel like that.
And of course, well, yes, I'm saying it. There, you have a lot of self-awareness. Of course, there are exceptions, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
There is the one random guy who locks himself in his room for a weekend and kicks the habit. Mm-hmm. But more often than not, that's not how it works. Once you get one hit of that, that's it. You know, or one view of that, one mouse click of that movie or whatever. That's it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize that. Because if we did, then we wouldn't have an entire industry of drug rehab centers for famous people.
It's weird because like I'll see that it'll be like the same scene. Like I'll see myself like taking some sort of like being upset about something and then wanting to like escape that, and so then taking some sort of a drug, and then the high, and then after like not being able to stop and just keep doing it and keep doing it, right. And then my surroundings are progressively getting worse and worse, but I can't change it, and then I see Selah grown up. Like, I lost all of her childhood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Centuries are what it meant to me. A cemetery where I marry the sea. Whew. That's good, right?
Why? I don't understand that.
A cemetery where I marry the sea. You know how you take people and you throw their ashes out into the water?
Yeah.
So it's a cemetery. The sea becomes a cemetery, but you're also married to it in the sense that you're going to be with them forever.
You're smart, babe.
Well, it just brought to mind a certain scene of a person that left us on her own terms, I guess, and that's what, you know. And I actually was not even able to go because I had to stay back with the kids while she went up there and did that. But stranger things could never change my mind. See? It's like, you're gonna die. Mm-hmm. Can't change his mind. Mm-hmm. I gotta take it on the other side. Like that term, I've gotta take it on the other side just seems to me like he's already just conceded that he's gonna die. Like he doesn't have the, you know, it's like I said a couple videos ago, like I don't engage in conflict thinking I'm gonna lose.
Yeah.
You know, but there comes a point when people just say, I'm not going to make it. Mm-hmm. And they, you know, so you graphically tell people, you're going to die, or you're going to cremate you and throw your ashes out to the sea. That's a really crazy thing to say. I've said, in desperation, or people in drugs, I've said terrible things.
I know.
You want your 5-year-old to pick you up off the ground?
I know.
when you're ODing,
I know.
and it doesn't. Some other guy's gonna get into her life and call him dad, and you're gonna be the junkie father that's dead. Do you want that? You just throw everything you possibly can.
I know. The first time I heard you do that, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because
I began to see after a while that.
And that's what happens, you know? And, you know,
like,
sometimes.
after a while, I started thinking, I wonder if you're the only one that's telling them that hard truth.
Well, they always had somebody that was, you know, the enabler. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember this one instance where we got the guy. He's like, all right. We drove him to rehab, and then it was crazy because the dad, not the dad, but the guy that owned the rehab was like, you know, we all got around and we prayed for him, and the dad said to the mom,
Not the dad, the guy that
rehab leader said to the mom, look, you know, the first X amount of days or whatever, you might get a phone call, he might run away, he might tell you to pick him up. Do not pick him up. He's like, I cannot tell you how many mothers have picked up their son and then 2 months later buried their son.
Right.
Do not do it. No, I'm not gonna do it.
I know.
And then they're not allowed to talk to anybody for the first 30 days except for the person that brought him there, or a specifically identified person, and generally can't be family. So I was the guy. And then
For good reason, too. One is, if they have their phones, they're still getting calls from all their drug dealers.
Oh, yeah. People are doing drug deals.
And then they've got friends that are still trying to get them into it. And then family members that are sympathetic toward their addiction. And so when they're going through withdrawal and they're talking about it to their family member, sometimes the family member feels so bad.
And it is an emergency.
Oh, yeah.
People have died trying to come off that stuff. That's why, even if the person's like, no, I'm just going to lock myself in a room, like, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because people, especially if the real hard drugs, people die during detox. So it's like when you're calling and they're panicked, they're not acting. They're really, their body's saying, hey, we're in a lot of trouble here. So it's not that the person's acting, so this particular facility wouldn't let a family member do it because it was just too much.
Yeah.
And so so I was
Did I say they were acting?
No.
Oh.
So I was the
I didn't
person.
think that.
The guy, sure enough, he escaped, and then he didn't escape. I mean, he
was
don't hold
like,
you
babe.
against your will.
No, you left.
He's walking down, and she's like, "You gotta pick me up, man. You gotta pick me up." I'm like, "Hell no, I'm not picking you up. Turn around right now." I hung up and I called his mom. I'm like, "Look, so and so is. Do not pick up the phone if he calls you. Do not pick up the phone." Okay. Sure enough, a week later, he was back home.
Yep.
And then we just saw him out in the street, you know, a couple months ago. Didn't even look like himself. It's completely ruined. It's just like, it's so like, you know, it doesn't matter what you tell him. Stranger Things never changed my mind. It's like it's I can't relate to it. I remember being so angry at him, but at the same time, I can't relate to being in that situation. I don't know what that's like. I'm not giving him an excuse, but I just don't know what it's like to be under the control of a chemical to that degree.
Yeah.
You know? Because I know for a fact he loved this little girl.
Yes, I know.
And he was really, really good with kids.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he was really good with kids. And so much potential.
Smart. He was, you could tell that, like, he really could have done a lot of things with his life. Like, and conversation with him, like, he was, I mean, aside from the drug thing, obviously, but there was, like, he was, like, kind of level-headed about stuff. Like,
extremely charismatic.
Yeah, could have a conversation with him.
Extremely charismatic guy. And it just,
destroyed him.
Just nothing changes your mind, you know? Like, it's just... It's
now
crazy.
when I see him, I'm just like, oh, good, he's still alive. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I ended up saying it to him, too. Like, I got to that point where I was like... I started saying the stuff that you were saying. I'm like, you know, because he wanted to make excuses for himself. And I'm like, no. You know, you've got a child, you've got... Oh, it's just heartbreaking.
It's hard. It's hard to love somebody in that situation.
Yeah.
Because you're... And then you have to, like, not believe that they're gonna lose, you know?
And you know what friggin' sucks?
That's hard to do.
Is when they come out of it for a while. Remember that guy that used to come in? He'd have, like, the the weed symbol on everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got help. And then he started, he put on some weight and he came in and he had like a nice little shirt on and his hair was done and he was so happy.
Yeah,
and he was like, he wanted to help make some sandwiches for people. So he got back there behind the grills. He was cooking for people and inviting people in. And it was like a really cool scene. And then all of a sudden he fell off the face of the planet, it seems like.
Yeah, that's...
Didn't see him for a while.
That's the worst.
Next time you see him come in, it almost seems like, I don't know if he was worse or if it just looked worse because we saw hope there for a little bit.
Yeah. And then you have to train yourself to not get cynical because your soul is like, don't believe that they're going to change next time because it's such a...
heartbreaking when they don't. Yeah. 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 I remember sitting with one girl just pleading with her. They want to, you know what I mean? But they don't. It's both. It's not like there's very few of them that are like, no, I have no interest in stopping. I want to keep doing this. Like a lot of times they're like, yeah, I know.
They wouldn't be talking to us if they didn't.
Right. Yeah, true.
Because there are other crowds where, because they knew we weren't necessarily going to preach to them, but they knew that if they were on that stuff, because the opioids was just running through our town and killing people left and right.
Right.
But anyway, but it's one of those nightmarish things where like a person has the awareness that they're killing themselves. That's the thing.
I know.
That's the thing that's scary, and that's how I'm interpreting "slit my throat." It's like you're destroying yourself, but you know that you're destroying yourself. But anyway.
So when it said right there, well, stop. Pour my life into a paper cup. The ashtray's full, and I'm spilling my guts. She wants to know, am I still her slut? I'm gonna take it on the other side. So that wasn't a person. That was the drug. You think? Do you like the drug is saying like, do you still belong to me? Like, is that like what you're thinking?
Yeah, it might be a double.
I've never heard like a guy say that.
Yeah.
Phrase. So.
Yeah, it might be a double as far as like the art form. Pour my life into a paper cup, meaning like him writing down lyrics and he's spilling his gut and he's like, as an artist, is he still...
I thought it was the alcohol he pours into a paper cup, which to me was, he says I'm pouring my life into a paper cup. So I thought it was, this is what I amount to. And the cup is paper. It's not even like it's a glass cup that has some value to it.
Addiction.
It's like, it's just, and the ashtray is full and I'm spilling my guts. It's just, everything is just not going well.
Yeah, drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Turn me on, take me for a hard ride, burn me out, leave me on the other side.
What is the other side he keeps referencing?
The other side, the
is that death?
Yeah, like you cross over to the other side. Like he keeps talking about the other side because he knows the thing's gonna kill him. Mm-hmm. Burn me out, leave me on the other side.
Yeah. Yep.
Oof. What a terrible song. It's not terrible. It's very, very meaningful for me growing up.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right, what do you give it?
It's a 9.7. I think it's really good.
It's a 10 for me.
Yeah.
Definitely a 10 for me. Really, really good song. Good lyrics. This guy is good lyrically. Mm-hmm. I never got into Chili Peppers, but this album, Californication, like they had a couple. This was the only song I really listened to, but they had a couple ones that was on MTV for a while. Mm-hmm. But I was too much into Korn, so hopefully people request it again for sure. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
I thought it